Hey, welcome to BibleTrack for January the 29th. Today we're looking at Matthew chapter 12, Mark 2, Luke 6, and John chapter 5. Again, we look at all four of the gospel writers because they all cover occasions that are written about by all four gospel authors. And so we like to read all four perspectives at the same time. In John chapter 5, which is basically where we get our chronology for the life and ministry of Jesus Christ, because he seems to record all four of the Passovers that Jesus ministered during which those Passover feasts were held. And here we have one in John chapter 5. Now, it says a great feast, but pretty sure this is a Passover feast. Then after the feast is mentioned, we have the occasion of the pool at Bethesda and the man who'd been crippled for 38 years beside that pool. Now, by the way, the saying was, the belief was that the first one into the pool after the stirring of the waters, that's the person that would be healed. But of course, the man couldn't move into the waters because he was crippled, so he never got healed. And Jesus chooses just one man that day. All the sick people lying around that pool, but Jesus just chooses one man to heal that day. And look at my notes and see what we have to say about that. We see that the Jews, well, Jesus is so successful in his ministry, they just want Jesus dead. And so Jesus answers these Jewish leaders in chapter 5 of John, verses 19 to 36. His answer is very interesting. And then he turns on them in verses 37 to 47 and says, well, that's enough about me, but now who are you? And then in Matthew 12, Mark 2, and Luke 6, where we turn our attention, we begin with an occasion where the disciples of Jesus are going through the cornfield picking ears of corn for their own nourishment. And Jesus is called down because they're doing this, working on the Sabbath, they're saying. But actually, Jesus calls them on this too. The Lord is Sabbath. The Lord is Lord of the Sabbath, he says. And incidentally, there was no Jewish law forbidding the activity that they were engaged in. They weren't reaping a harvest. They were simply feeding themselves. So then the incident of the healing of the man on the Sabbath. The Jews are anticipating that Jesus is getting ready to heal on the Sabbath, and to them that's against their law as well. However, that's an addition to the Mosaic law. There's nothing in the law about healing a man on the Sabbath day. Now, I tell you why they had a problem with it, because they couldn't heal a man. Not on the Sabbath day, not any other day of the week. And then finally, Mark and Luke record the calling, not just the calling, but the ordaining of the 12 apostles. And that's what we find in today's reading. Some interesting stuff there. I hope you'll read it and enjoy it. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow.